Hey Gemini, this is your general tarot reading for Gemini, Sun, Moon and Ascendant Rising sign for the month of November. Gemini, let's do as we always do. We'll shuffle the cards and wait on all the right ones to come out for you, my love. And in the meantime, let's talk about the energies that you may feel throughout the month. So, we leave October, entering November still under the effect of the full moon in Taurus that happened for you in your 12th house. Now this could have marked a period, as the first card hops out there, this could mark a period where you were feeling that you needed a little bit of time alone to rest, recover, dream, meditate. Just close the door a little bit and have some time to yourself where you have the space to just be on your own with your own thoughts and relax. Because what may have been happening, Gemini, is that maybe work, relationships, family, friends, that you may have become just a little bit extra sensitive to the moods of everybody around you in work, in relationships and so on. And it might have made you feel that you had to retreat a little bit from people, just to give yourself a little bit of time away. Maybe a lot of people are going through stuff, going through dramas, going through things, maybe under pressure, and it just all became a little bit too intense for you. Maybe people were feeling a little bit down, defeated, and so on like that, and it seems to have rubbed off on you, kind of like the osmosis effect, where you were just soaking it in and taking in maybe other people's sadness or sense of defeatedness, let's say, and you just needed to separate yourself away to make that clear distinction between other people's feelings and your own. So that's what you've been doing. You've been taking time to dream, meditate, maybe even really dig deep and explore some psychic things, psychic visions, psychic synchronicities happening for you, where it just got you back into that flow of trusting your intuition and being in a state of rest, recovery and relaxation. So it was a very nice energy, very, very nice. And it looks like it's something that you had to experience, that you had to go through. You had to have this kind of rest and recovery too, because you've got the sun, your soul, going into the 6th house, which is a few things. It's all to do with taking care of your health. So this could mark a month where you're really focused on, making yourself better. If you have any things, any niggly things, tackling it once and for all, going to a health practitioner and letting them see what's going on, if indeed there is anything going on. But just to take care of yourself at the start of the month, to really focus on maybe detoxing or just cleaning out some of the negative vibes that other people perhaps have been putting on your shoulders. So that's something you'll be doing. Now, Sun in the 6th house is a lot to do with your work, with the things that you do in your day, the way you organize and structure your day. And that's coming into focus this month, where you might want to maybe get a better structure on your day. Maybe if it's in work, in your office, maybe getting stuck in so that something is finally finished, something is finally tackled in your workspace. Now, 6th house is where sometimes there are maybe, what would you call it, office gossips. And I think I touched on this last month with you, Gemini, to steer clear of them. And particularly if there's somebody in the office who, one of those people that's just a drain and a drag, and everything is going wrong and everything is bad. And within 2 minutes of just even saying hello to them, you walk away feeling that the energy has been dragged out of you. So I'd say here, just focus on your work and leave the kind of energy zappers behind. Just keep your head down and get moving, because that's where it's at. Being efficient, being streamlined, being organized, and not letting anything interfere with that. Now, I'll say this, 6th house, 12th house dynamic between the sun and the moon could mark a period, which again, I touched on this last month, where you might be focused on service to others, charities, doing things for charity, and doing things out of a sense of really getting something meaningful from it, that you might be helping somebody who's less fortunate than you, helping a charity, doing something positive in your life that seems to help somebody else. So that's a good month for that too. But it's all about time management, organizing yourself, getting streamlined so that the efficient energy that you're feeling this month pays off down the road. So it might feel a little bit this month like work, stress. But instead of kind of more focusing on the stress of it, just keep focused, keep your head down and keep working. And it will be good. It will be a good idea for you to do this. Now, Mercury in Sagittarius in your 7th house. Maybe a lot of you are going to focus on work and throw yourself into the tasks that you have to do every day, because some issues around relationships might have come up. Maybe a lot has been on your mind, trying to solve the puzzle, trying to fix, trying to really understand why people are behaving certain ways, why partners, close friends, even business partners, why they seem to be so, distant from you. So you're trying to figure all of that out, and you will, as the month goes on, you will figure it out. But it seems that your mind is very much on relationships and trying to bring balance back to relationships. Maybe you'll see a kind of a stark contrast between you and another person, your partner, your close friend, or so on like that. And you'll want to bring the closeness together. And like I said, you'll be trying to figure out how to make that happen. Venus is still retrograding until the 16th of November. So she's retrograding in Libra in your 5th house. So this could be a moment where, when it comes to partnerships, close friendships, relationships, even business associates, close people that you work closely with, that you might suddenly realize that you have to bring in a bit more fun into that you have to get back in touch with that aspect of creating something fun, just having joy in the relationship. And you've been maybe going back and digging up all the ways that you used to have pleasure with this relationship, with this partnership, with this friendship, and trying to bring that back, trying to bring a sense of happiness back to the relationship and fun. Yeah, maybe for some of you there could have been this thing about going back and rediscovering an old creative project that you used to absolutely love, and maybe wanting to share that with somebody, maybe start a creative project that you had put on the back burner, but to start it again and maybe bring somebody in as a partner, somebody who will work with you and kind of help you infuse it with a bit of energy, so that's a nice thing that might happen. Now, let's go on. November 6th. There is Uranus retrograding still, but he's going back in, he's dipping back into Aries, into your 11th house. And he's coming back to kind of shake things up again a little bit for you, Gemini, to remind you that you have to really stay focused on your future dreams and plans. You have to stay connected with those dreams and wishes that you had put out there. The things that you were trying to manifest, the things that you saw in the future as being successful things for you. Don't lose contact with them. Re-engage with what it was that you once believed was going to happen in your future. Maybe some of you had really wanted to work towards something, working towards getting a degree, a diploma, some prize, being recognized in some way. And it's just coming back to remind you not to lose that, and don't lose sight of that. The future, and what you're putting now into your future plans is still very important. So stay positive, stay optimistic, and don't lose your dreams. That's essentially it. Don't lose your dreams and stay focused. And for some of you, there could be again this feeling of some friends radically shifting in your life, like friends moving in and out, like shifting sands. So that could start happening for you. And not to worry about that, because maybe there's always a time for people to come and go in our lives. And maybe what you might find that this month marks the beginning of maybe a change in friendships, meeting new people, changing your circle of friends a little bit. And also maybe reconnecting with social media. Yeah, reconnecting. And if you work within social media, to go back out and make your presence felt again on social media. If you are promoting something on social media, get out and be the individual. Get out there and show your face again and touch base with the people that you are connecting with on social media. So that's a good reminder, because this is something that's very important for your future, so it seems. Now, November 7th, new moon in Scorpio in your 6th house. Okay, so a lot of you are focused on work and health, so let's go with work. Around the new moon, the November 7th new moon, some of you could really be thinking about starting a new work project, really getting stuck in, trying to find a new office, trying to work in a new office space, or trying to change something up, some system even of organization within your workspace and in your life in general. So it's a really good thing. It could be this thing, Gemini, where you do that whole declutter thing this month. It's all about detox, declutter, getting rid of the old and feeling that everything is organized again, that you know where everything is. And I know sometimes, Gemini, that you can, and you're very happy sometimes, to live in organized chaos. Nobody else knows where everything is, but you know amidst all the chaos where that one thing is, because you remember it, because you have a great mind. So maybe this is the month where you kind of reshift things around, even in your house, in your office, just to bring some real order back into your life, okay? And certainly back into your health. I don't know why I'm thinking of this. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's Scorpio. But when it comes to health, some of you might be looking at your sexual health, reproductive health. It might be a good time for you to really explore that. Some of you really need to, I don't know, I'm not saying you need to do it, but I'll say it's a good time to do that. Issues around fertility, issues around just your general health anyway. Let's just say that your general health. But this was the thing that was sticking in my mind. Some of you might, because it's charity, might want to do a health thing for charity, but also might want to give blood if that's something that you're interested in, or if that's something that you can do. It might be worth this month seeing if you can kind of do something with your health, which is blood, and giving to charity, blood donation. So that's what it could be. So it could be many things, but health and work and getting organized are the big things this month, yeah. Now, excuse me, November 8th, Jupiter moving into Sagittarius in your 7th house of partnerships and relationships and contracts, and kind of bringing things together, managing things so that they work in harmony. And I think that's where luck is coming for you. You have an opportunity now to really focus on having good relationships in your life. Maybe, as I said, the shifting sands of friends moving in and moving out. Underpinning all that will be good friends, good people, your core group. And I think luck will come when you focus on really getting that core group in a good space where you're all kind of working in harmony. There could have been a feeling, Gemini, where people were growing very distant from you, maybe losing touch with friends or not feeling so connected. And this is the moment where luck returns so that you get all those connections back, and where you're able to manage your friendships and relationships better and manage the input that you give. So it's not just the energy that they give, but also the energy that you give. So what will be on your mind is managing how to bring the harmony there. So it's a really nice thing. It could be a very lucky period for relationships too. If you've been on your own for a while, it could mark a period where you get out there and really feel that you want to be connected to somebody significant. So it's a nice lucky energy for you if that's what you want. And those of you in a relationship, there is luck. There certainly is luck between bringing a lovely sense of balance and peace and just being nice to each other. That's where luck will flow, okay? Now Mars on the 15th of November is moving into Pisces in your 10th house. When it comes to your career, Gemini, I think that there may be some things coming up for your career that you may not have noticed before. Maybe it's this feeling of wanting to reconnect on some emotional level with the things you're doing within your career, that you don't want to do a kind of job now that has no passion or emotion in it, or has no deep feeling in it. And you don't want to feel very restricted by your career anymore. Pisces is boundless, it's limitless. And I think that you should get back in touch with that feeling that you are limitless when it comes to everything to do with your career, and maybe not to have so many restrictions on what it is that you can do within your career. There are no glass ceilings, there are no walls, there are no boundaries. And if you see boundaries, believe that you can go past them within your career. So it's about using your force and energy to go past any boundaries that have been in your career. And maybe that's why you're very focused on doing all this hard work, because perhaps this month is a time where if you just give it that little bit extra push within the work that you're doing, you can go past all boundaries. Yeah, so that's a really nice thing to happen. Also, those of you who are really thinking of going into the caring professions, anything that involves the emotions, maybe psychotherapy or counseling, something like that, going in to help other people fix their crises. Maybe look, as I said, in the 7th houses to become a mediator for warring people, trying to bring peace and balance back to other people and making that your career. So that could be a really nice thing for you to do. But in general, it's just about you flowing better within your career and believing that anything is possible. Some of you might feel that you have to put a lot of energy into really letting go of some of the hang-ups or emotional drainers that have been happening within your career. Some of you could have been a bit sad about the direction your career was going. But know that this is a moment where you can begin to release and surrender some of the heavier stuff that was happening around your perception even of your career. So it's a nice thing. Now, November 6th, Mercury, your ruler, is retrograding in Sagittarius in your 7th house. This could be a time, Gemini, where you have to go back and really start reconnecting with all the people that really matter to you in your life. It might be about you reconnecting to an old love, reconnecting to people who meant something to you. Maybe for some of you it's going back and having a look again at a contract and seeing if this time around this contract looks good. Maybe a work contract, or maybe a commitment to a relationship. Maybe you have to go back and have a little bit of a rethink about whether you can commit to a certain relationship and make it official. Put a ring on it. Yeah, so it's all about having that space to go back and rethink, go back and reevaluate whether the relationships that you're deeply involved in now, even if they're business relationships, are worth maintaining. So there's luck in going back and opening that out and spreading that out to have a good long look. Venus finally going direct in the 5th house, November 16th. So it's a lovely moment for you to, I don't know, have more fun, joy and pleasure in the game of love. Some of you could really be thinking about getting back out there and finding a new love, or at least a new passion. And it is a time of passion, finding what you're passionate again this month, Gemini, and really going for it. So that's lovely. The Sun moves into Sagittarius on November 22nd. Now, okay, a lot of focus is going into your relationships, so it seems, this month. You have issues around your work and you're working hard, but do try not to neglect your relationships towards the end of the month. And I'll also say this, my love, do try not to feel neglected by the relationships you're in. Try to not let that distance that's happening or coolness that's happening become some big wide chasm. Bridge that gap and don't allow yourself to feel so isolated and alone, because even though we're in relationships, sometimes we can feel very lonely, even in relationships. So I would urge you towards the end of the month to just do your best to keep that good connection open in relationships. It'll be worth it. Now, the full moon on the 23rd of November in Gemini, a Gemini full moon. So I think this marks a period, Gemini, where whatever it is you're doing in work, in your health and in your relationships, something there is going to come to a head. Yeah, something is coming to a head. And certainly, maybe some project that you're doing in work is going to be finished. And this kind of releases you from some burdens. Releasing you from burdens. So that you can start again emotionally. You could be severing ties with many things this month so that you get to start again. Why? Because you want to trust in your feelings again. You want to trust that you know where you're going. You want to trust your inner guide, your inner compass. You want to believe that you know what's best for you. And you're going to be working towards bringing that to a head towards the end of the month. Maybe working towards changing your appearance in some way. Yeah. Maybe getting more tactile. The clothes you wear, the things you say suddenly become more reflective of who you really are. So that's a nice energy. And Neptune finally going direct on November 24th at the end of the month. There are some illusions in your workspace or within your career that are finally going to be broken. Maybe you were labouring under an illusion, and there will be a moment towards the end of the month where you finally realise that, and it's almost like an old dream within your career is dying and a new one is about to be born. So wait for that. That will come this month. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to have to start choosing the cards now, Gemini. We have some, and I'm going to choose 4 more cards for you. Okay, here we go. Yeah, rest and recovery. We know you've been doing that. We know you've been closing doors to see what's been going on. Page of Swords, sometimes known as a Gemini card. 2 more, Gemini. The 5 of Swords, and 1 last one. Let's make it a good one, Gemini. Come on. Let's make it a really good one. The Knight of Swords. Okay, so it's an air card, and it represents ideas, words, and moving ahead, perhaps with some projects. So Gemini, let's finally do this thing. Let's move over and pow! Look at the big grand overview. Okay, so we begin with the Knight of Wands. This is your magic. This is you feeling that energy is coming back to you. And you'll need energy this month, because after maybe a period of having to recover and having to relax and having to shut the door a bit and regain your strength, this month it seems that your strength is coming back. But you also realize that you have to push that little bit harder. So you have the strength to push. So use the energy he's bringing, this brilliant fire energy, sun in the 6th house. Push with your projects, push with work, push with making yourself feel healthy and happy and whole. So it's great. You're getting a bit of fire back and enthusiasm back. And I'm going to say this again. I think other people and their moods and their sense of being lost and defeated, maybe you've spent too much time around people who are going through a bit of an emotional, heavy time, and you're now coming back into the month saying, I have to shake that off, that doesn't belong to me. Oh, everybody else is feeling like crap, I'm not going to let that affect me. Shake it off and move. Rear that horse and say, I'm out of here, I'm moving. And I will say this, there is sometimes with this card a sense of heaviness. Now this is a Taurus card, moon in Taurus in your 12th house. And if you see he's moving away there, sometimes Taurus can be quite heavy. He can say he's fixed, so he can be quite, do this is the belief, I believe in this and this is fixed, you know. And you're saying, I don't want to be in fixed ideas. I don't want to be stuck in other people's ideas, other people's emotions. I don't want to be stuck that every time I call somebody, that they're always complaining. I don't want to be stuck in that feeling. So you're saying, I'm out full of energy, full of enthusiasm to do my own thing and to get away from that feeling of being too grounded, too stuck, too fixed, too locked in to a belief. That's it. Maybe that's something that's coming up for you as we start the month, that you want to get away from this feeling of being locked into a belief, maybe around relationships, that you want to change it up. Perhaps you have believed that all relationships that you've been in always end up going down a certain road, or there's always a pattern to them. And you're moving from that belief now. You're changing it up. You want your beliefs around relationships in general to change. Now, the other thing this could be saying is that maybe there is a vow or a promise that you made to somebody, maybe in a relationship or even a business partnership, and you're moving away from that. You feel that it's getting a bit heavy. And maybe that's why Mercury is retrograding, going back and saying, maybe you need to have a little bit of a rethink about this connection with this person. Maybe it's all getting a little bit too heavy or moving too fast, or they want to commit in a way that just makes you want to run for the hills. So that's what needs to be reevaluated as we enter the month. Now, look at this. We have the moon. What has the moon thrown up? Well, certainly the issues we just spoke about, whether you're ready to commit to some union with somebody in the way that they want. And the moon has brought up these things. It's saying it's almost like you have a hunch or a feeling, can't quite put your finger on why this isn't working to your advantage, to get locked into a contract with somebody or to get into some solid agreement with somebody. It's just a feeling that's rising, that's not sitting right with you. And I think if it's a business partnership or a creative partnership, you could be worried about a financial issue. Maybe you don't trust that this is the right person to go into business with, or you don't trust that this person has the ability to be open to anything, that they're a little bit too stuck and a little bit too fixed in their beliefs around money, that they can't see a bigger picture, that they want it to be just this way and nothing else, you know? And it's these feelings, these hunches, these synchronicities, these dreams, that every time your mind is quiet, it's just going round in your mind. Can't put my finger on it, but something isn't right here. Something isn't right. Yeah. And it's that feeling of stability, the feeling that there's something hidden coming up within a relationship, maybe feeling insecure within some relationship that you're in, or some partnership or very close friendship. There are doubts, and you're not so sure that you're all on the same page. You're not so sure that they treat it with the same respect perhaps as you treat it, that you're at cross purposes, you're going different directions. And it's this feeling, Geminis, that you now want to be more expansive and open, and they want to be more, let's focus, let's get things, pinned down, nailed down, let's organize the finances, let's organize the money, let's get it solid. And I don't know what it is, Gemini, but it's this feeling of, what is wrong here? What am I missing? What am I not seeing about this that's making me feel reluctant to continue with a relationship or enter into a new relationship with somebody? But I would say this, go with your instincts. Moon in the 12th house, very psychic place, a place where things rise up, where doubts rise up, where that kind of vague feeling of something not being right rises up, and you have to go with that and trust that, really. Now here is a Sun in Scorpio card, and we do have the Sun in Scorpio until the 22nd of November. Sun in Scorpio. So this month seems to be having quite an effect on you, with a great amount of healing coming. Healing, which again comes back to purging, letting things go. I just get the feeling that there's been a lot of people around you who have been letting you down, who have been going through some weird and tricky times, and you've been the one that's been called upon to fix the mess, fix their crisis. They're forever in a state of drama, forever in a state of emotional upheaval. And this has kind of triggered something in you where it brings up your stresses, your traumas. And it's kind of a feeling of, I wish they'd all go away and stop dumping this shit on me. I can't fix everything. It's making me feel insecure. It's making me doubt myself. So there's this element of other people's feelings. It's like they're rubbing off on you and making you doubt yourself. So I think this is why you needed to give people a bit of a wide berth at the start of the month, because it's their toxicity is rubbing off on you and you're finding it increasingly difficult to shake it off, and it's making you lose some energy and it's bringing you down. And I think this is what is here for these two cards. Get your vitality back this month. Make a little bit of separation between the people who are dragging the life out of you and draining you, vampire draining you. Don't let them do it to you, Gemini. Heal, heal, heal this month. Detox, refresh, feel revitalized. And this card really suggests to start looking for goodness in your life again. See, this card is often about nostalgia, looking back at the times when things were flowing right for you, when things were purer for you, where the trash didn't exist, where the toxic people weren't around to bring you down. You know, that there was a time where you were able to pick up your phone and talk pleasantly and have good vibes and a good buzz with the people that you were talking to, and now you're even reluctant to call anybody because there's always some hidden shit. And you're saying, well, I need to go back to a time. I need to find people and surround myself with people who just want to be light and happy and create and feel the happy vibes and to feel pure again. And that's what seems to be needed here. That's what will heal you. Yeah, that's the thing, Gemini. You've spent, now probably because you feel that you've a lot to offer people, maybe you feel that you've become the wise counselor for people, but at some point you do have to wash all their shit off you, and you do have to realize that their problems are really their problems and that you can't fix everybody, and nor should you allow yourself to become the permanent shoulder to cry on. That people don't phone you unless they've got a drama, and you've got to bring balance back into that, my love. You really do, because we don't want you. I don't want you drained. I don't want you feeling that you're carrying everybody else's problems, because that's not fair on you, darling. It's not fair. Yeah, but you're going to heal, and then what you're going to do after that is feel more strength. After you hopefully do what we're talking about here, you'll feel better able to fend off and defend yourself against those drainers, those people who have always a problem. You're like this guy now with your big stick saying, back off, back away, don't come near me, there is a line here, there is a line here, and you do not cross that. And they're saying, no, talk to me, I've got this problem. No, talk to me, don't talk to me. And what could happen here too, the moment you strike a boundary with people who are draining you, you might find that they come at you twice as much, twice as hard, and maybe even get annoyed with you because you're not listening. And you have a moment, like an epiphany then, and say, it was never about fixing their problem. It was never about me trying to help them. They just wanted to dump their shit and throw their anger and aggression onto somebody else. They wanted to unload their stuff onto me, but now I am like holding up my stick, you know, and saying, when they throw shit at me, it's like, poo, poo, poo. I can hit them, hit those little wands and say, not anymore. You can't throw shit at me anymore. So that's very strong. making a clear separation and a clear boundary and not allowing anybody to throw their shit at you. And when you do that, in comes a sense of balance, that finally you understand this. And I wonder, is this something to do with the North Node changing also this month into Cancer, in your second house, of second house to finding balance in your own sense of self again, finding balance in your own sense of self-esteem and self-worth again. Your worth, your value is strong if you probably, consider the things that we've been speaking about. And I wonder, with this card here, did you put a lot of your self-esteem and self-worth into being that wise counselor, that person who, come to me, I will help you? And maybe you got a lot of self-esteem from being that it made you feel good, it propped you up. But now it's changing. You have to let go of that, make a clear boundary, push those people away momentarily to get your balance back, to realize that you're good enough as you are. You don't need to be the one to fix everybody else. First and foremost, fix yourself. Fix yourself. Find balance within yourself. And sometimes there's a moment here where you could have been learning through other people's crisis how to fix your own crisis. Almost like school, going to school by diving into other people's problems and saying, well, I see how they've handled that situation. Maybe I can fix myself vicariously through what they've experienced. No, you don't need to do that. You just need to get back in touch with your feelings, your purpose, what it is that you do best in your life, what it is that gives you a sense of grounding in your own self, and be that, and allow energy to just flow into you, and not to give all your energy away. Stop giving it away. I mean, it's nice to help people, but stop giving all of you away. They have energy, they have a life. It's their job to manage that. So stop you giving everything to them, because it's your job also to manage you and your energy and your resources. So manage that this month and bring balance back and feel better in yourself. And then there's a moment of relaxation and recovery as we come towards the end of the month with the full moon in Gemini. You're clearing the decks, you're swabbing the decks, you're getting rid of all the heavier stuff that's been sitting in your emotions, sitting in your mind, and you're feeling much better you by the end of the month. You really do. And ready to start again, ready to begin again, feeling that you've new ideas, new projects, new places to throw your attention to, new doors perhaps opening that give you opportunities to explore more. But this time, exploring the things that interest you. It's almost like when you bring the balance back to yourself, you're taking your mind out of other people's problems and putting your mind back into things that make you happy. Yeah, putting your mind back into things that make you feel more like yourself. Now, I will say this, some of you may need to recover a little bit towards the end of the month. You may hear something, you may hear news that just might come your way in an unusual way, that might give you pause for thought, that might make you more determined to pull your energy away from other people who are determined to bring you problems, who are determined to attack. Didn't I say that they're throwing things at you? You know what it is, Gemini? It's like you've been doing so much good. You've been out there doing good, and your reward for that was to get no praise, and even in some way to be mocked or teased, or people weren't grateful for the things you've done. And you see that and you say, I'm not going to play this anymore. And I will say this, towards the end of the month, Gemini, once you see that, you could pick up sticks, you could pick up your knife and say, I see what you've done, I see the game that you've been playing, I see that I've been giving you so much, and that you've not been very grateful for all the help that I've been giving you. And you might just open your mouth and speak your mind, and you might just charge at somebody. You might just give them a piece of your mind. And this in turn seems to free you. It's kind of saying, what was I thinking? What was I doing? I'm getting my sense of balance back here. I'm not engaging with people who are ungrateful or ungracious, or who just don't want my help. To hell with them. And you give them, it seems, a piece of your mind towards the end of the month. Yeah. And it's a wonderful opportunity for you to clear the air and to run with something new, to run in a new direction entirely, a direction that suits you a hell of a lot better. Yeah, a hell of a lot better. Yeah, so I like that, Gemini. I like that towards the end of the month, you're back more empowered, back ready to kind of cut them down if it may have to be so, cut to the chase, and then keep cutting and keep getting back into your element of air, of moving swiftly along, of feeling empowered, of feeling that you've places to go and things to do that don't involve those bitches who want to drag you down. So that's it, Gemini. Now, before I go, I just want to say something to you. I left it till the end of the reading because I didn't want to interrupt the flow. But I'm starting a new project this month. I am doing in-depth readings. They're called the Deep Read on Vimeo. I have a link there down below, and I'd love you to check it out. It is going deeper into all aspects of November through the reading that we've just done. Now, the general readings will always stay, but I'm just offering you something more, a deeper read. So check out the link below if that's something you're interested in. We talk about love, relationships, family, friends, career, finance, and we just delve in to see if there's things that are just that bit deeper. Yes. So like I said, I'd love you to be part of it if you can, if it's something that you're able to do, and let me know what you think of it. And so, with that being said, Gemini, I wish you a wonderful November. I hope you have a marvelous time, and I hope you feel this big turnaround where you are not so drained by other people's dramas. The drama drain doesn't affect you anymore. And as always, Gemini, I will leave you with all my love and a great big kiss. Mwah. Until next month, Gemini. Bye.